Yo, what's up, guys? Did my music just decide to stop, or we sit here in silence now? Great. Very cozy. Oh no, something's happening actually. Let me prepare stuff. Um, Okay. We are almost done with announcing stuff. Then we can finally stare at code. Okay, now it's time. We're done. Changing. Almost changing. Now. Does my keybind work? It does. Fun. Okay, so we're trying to bring down the number of open PRs a bit. We're at over 60 again, and eventually we'd like to, well, start refactoring the internals a bit, which is when we will freeze the acceptance of new features that modify core code a little bit, because otherwise we will, well, have problems and lots of merge conflicts, which we want to avoid. And the strategy now is get as many things as we can merged now, and then we make one final release, which will be, I don't even know, what's our current release? What's our current release? 0.14.0. So the next one will be 0.15.0, presumably. And yeah. Then that one will be like the some sort of LTS, long-term support release. So I guess this upcoming one will be the last one for a little while, and then I don't know how fast we can actually progress with refactoring stuff, and then move back into some sort of release cycle again. I feel like the monthly releases were nice in general, but also caused, well, some problems, I'd say. There's been a lot of focus on well, pushing out new features, and not so much actually well, refactoring existing problems, because that was always, I don't know, it takes time and effort to do that. So yeah, but well, it is how it is. Agree? Hi Daryl. Yeah, and that's, I think it's a good thing that we now try to switch to some sort of maintenance mode, and maybe after that, I don't even know how the release cycle will look like after that. I don't think we will really go back to the monthly releases. I'm not sure whether that would be a good idea. It has its benefits, but maybe it should be more feature driven. Say if there is something important, then we can just push it out. Don't necessarily need to stick to the monthly release schedule, because like this, I think there are some bad practices that we started to develop over the time. In particular, when actually work happens on the library, it's not like it's evenly distributed throughout the whole month. It's like the few days before every beginning of the month, so actually the end of every month, work starts to ramp up, and then, well, and I don't think that's necessarily healthy. I need to fetch an napkin. Be right back. Like you said, my exact thoughts. Yeah. I mean, I think it's that's how it is. I do see also positive benefit, especially for like beginning of the project. It was important to start with some sort of release cycle, but now that it has been established, we should have probably moved back to well, I don't know, more feature-driven releases rather than the thing we did. But I don't know. It's like, yeah. It is how it is. You can see what we'll do about it. All right. So what do we do? What do we even do? Let's see what we have. I've read the stuff happening on the Discord a little bit. Wait. Ugh. That's not the thing I wanted to do. Not at all. Wait, let me fix that. I should have done this. Where did I put my Discord? Here it is. Oh, it was here. I want it here. And now I want it back. Okay, we can do it. So, what do we do? I've read the discussion about increasing the performance of plotting. I don't think I have anything to add to that right now. So I'll leave you guys work until, well, until it's time to look at it properly. But I think it's interesting. The points where we lose performance. Alright, this is mine. I think this is not yet reviewed. No. But I think this discussion is resolved. So yeah, I'd like to merge that. I started to work on another video in my tutorial series, and I started to put together some examples for using updaters. But then I noticed how inconsistent they were across well, renderers, between time-based and non-time-based updaters. It's like, well, very messy. And I felt like if I made a video on that, it would be weird to explain all of that somehow. So I decided to fix it and postpone the video until after the well, more consistent versions are available. I could just have covered the behavior for Cairo. But yeah, I felt it would be weird. Let's look at stuff. Remove unused imports. Autoflake. Okay. This tutorial sysconfig get Python lib. Where did we use that? We used this as instead of I don't know, sys.executable at some point or something like that. It's weird. Actually weird. Alright, typing union, typing in logger utils is no longer necessary. Import typing in from typing import type checking. Okay. Yeah, our typings are messy. But this seems to be fine. You mentioned, Daryl, that there was like a PR a while ago that introduced lots of type-ins, and I feel I agree. This really shouldn't have been merged the way it was. Introduced so many wrong ones. I would have preferred if I don't know. I think there was a lot of guessing of what parameters actually do instead of looking it up and stuff. Yeah, the Space Ops one. That was sloppy. We should have looked a bit more closely. But well, that's how life is. The reviews did most of the work in the PR. Yeah. That's how it is sometimes. What happened here? Moving camera. Why? Autoflake removes passes? That's weird. I mean, there's a doc string, so it's a valid function now, but still kind of weird. Pythoning. Indeed Pythoning. Or at least looking at Python stuff. I did most of the review, but yeah, then let's remove this one as well. I can't add a suggestion there. Can I add one below? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pythoning. Oh, that might actually not be. I should. I'll just commit it. Doesn't make sense like this. What's this? 23 of 25 of 3. No, not 4. Moving camera. Where was it? Cache Cairo context. Here it is. I like to be explicit with these. Even though it would be okay to just leave it. There's another one. Group.py. Wait, which one? CFG. Group. This one. You should have listened to song channel point. I did switch from nothing to having more stuff on stream elements. And I think it supports some sort of song wish list or something. I know that. Wait, did I actually do that? Wait, let me see whether I. Yes, so I do have some sort of video suggestion queue now, which is, I don't know, we could watch videos together, but I don't think that music works the same. I'd have to look at it, but if you want me to change playlist, I can do that. It's a bit heavy for reviewing, I agree, maybe. Let me see. Let's change to the lo-fi one. I liked it more anyways. Yeah. Wait. Where's my... That's not the right one. Okay. Back. Is a 30 minutes classical piece okay? If you request it, the only way I could play it, or the way that would usually happen is it would pop over most of the screen, I think. If I approve the video for playing. I don't think I have autoplay enabled. I hope at least. Don't. And 30 minutes classic piece, I mean, in principle it's okay, but I was listening to it before your stream. I think I'll stay with this lo-fi stuff for a little while. 30 minutes is a bit long, although I do like it. I do like classical music, but not right now. I'll probably, I don't know, it's not the right thing for reviewing. So what was I doing? Ah yeah, where was this? DevCF. Here it is. Okay, done. No more import typing here, optional here. All right. Oh, interesting. From constants import star is not required in the frame.py. Okay, really isn't required. Optional sequence. Right, we don't need the optional anymore since we... Did we introduce that we import annotations from future? Yeah. That's I think that's pretty global. Yeah. Okay. So we don't need the union anymore, which is nice. And optional as well. Ah yeah, these two I want to have back as well. Init colors and generate points in object. Hi AD Chaos. Getting those back. Init points in OpenGL object. Yeah. We explicitly pass. Interesting. Import plugins. We don't need import module anymore. Maybe this was changed at some point. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Cairo renderer doesn't need time anymore. Yeah. Should not need it. I've been looking through the renderers actually, and I feel like at least the code actually responsible for rendering the Cairo renderer and the OpenGL renderer, or at least the handling of when the handling of passing the rendering loop back to the scene with the play internal stuff. I feel like the OpenGL renderer there has the stuff that the animation is added to this preview window if it exists. And I feel like it would not be that hard to, well, take the code and duplicate it for the Cairo renderer. I don't know how performant that would be, so that might be the problem. But I can, in theory, I could see some sort of similar behavior for the live preview of rendering for the Cairo renderer. In theory, that's possible. Not sure whether we want it, but if it's just a copying around some frame buffers, then should work actually. Ooh, thanks for... Wait, what? I don't have the thing open. Thanks for following. Was there? There was an animation somewhere, right? And did you hear the sound once or twice? If twice, I'm not sure where it came from the second time. I heard it twice. Once, I believe. All right. Well, thanks for following anyways. From data classes, import data class. Oh, the WebGL renderer. I'm not sure what we will do with that. I think it's effectively dead right now. Editor doesn't need it either. Yeah. Should probably rip it out. If we really want to implement WebGL rendering, then I think we should do it in a separate new approach. So might be the best course of action to. I mean, the code itself, I think, is more or less encapsulated anyway, so maybe we should just move that into a plugin or something like that. I don't think it works actually, or I can't remember when I last tried the WebGL renderer. Must have been ages. Must have been ages. Right, we keep looking through this list to spot any. That's curious. Vector space scene has. Why does vector space scene import so many colors? Z color equals blue D, green C, gray. What is this used for? Oh. Who wrote these comments? Grant, of course. Well, it is how it is. I feel like this should be moved to a plugin. You mean the WebGL renderer or the vector space scene stuff? I also do feel like it's well, it's cluttering a little bit. Vector space scene? Yeah, There are some, I think all of the special scenes, I'm not sure whether it really was a success model, having so many different pre-implemented scenes. I mean, why I don't, for example, I don't understand why the moving camera scene is why the code for that has not just been incorporated into scene itself. Maybe there's a reason for that, but not being able to move the camera in the default scene seems silly to me. But well, many things seem silly to me. These are the best changes. Apparently red is not used anymore. These I have never been sure about. Do we actually need to import PyTest in the test files? I don't think we do we? I can remember I've removed a bunch of these a while ago, and the tests still were running, so I don't think we need to import it here actually. At the point where the test files are read, PyTest should have to be imported already anyways. Yeah, but it's removing them anyways. That's curious. Test oops. Doesn't test the... Interesting. Some of them need to import for decorators. Yeah, that's another story. That's another story. If yeah, there's some PyTest dot I don't know, then it makes sense. Even also if I think if you write tests where some exception is thrown, then you do it also with this context manager with PyTest dot expects or something like that. But then it's also clear that you need it. Thank God that we got rid of that. Config is no longer needed in test scene, which is nice. OS and subprocess, OS, ether tours. PyTest, more PyTest. Value tracker used dot. Interesting. Okay, yeah, the rest looks good to me. So I'll push my 2 changes that I have. Oh, what did I change? This one. The group object. It's like 2 here. OpenGLM object, 1 here. Re-added, removed pass statements. I'm on the branch, right? Yeah. Commit, git push. Back to this guy. Refresh. Search for pass. Not found. Looks good to me. Submit. I think we can just merge this. I'll come back to this in a bit and then update the branch and merge it. Just leave this tab open. Okay, what else do we have? The note about contributions during the refactor period. I think I've read that already and I was okay with that.
Discuss any potential improvements and keep up to date with latest developments. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Do these render correctly? Source contributing. Do you have linked? No. Where is the thing? So where was it? The one is the readme, that should be fine. And this one is contributing RST, which is this one. Oh yeah, it's here. In general. Yeah, seems fine. We can merge it soon after. And we can merge it. I mean, we can actually just merge it now and then do everything else later. EA Ballista. I have not thought about anything yet. I have not thought about PoE builds yet. So this we could also merge actually. I mean, let's just do it, right? Update and go. And this one actually as well. We'll just wait until the other one has been merged. Copilot is a better writer than me sometimes. You used Copilot to write the thing? It's pretty impressive what it does. Thanks for following, DT6. Thanks for following AD Chaos. You weren't following before? I thought you were following already. Not that it matters, but I appreciate it. Made some suggestions that were better than what I had in mind. Yeah. It's interesting how these tools can, well, very new to Twitch. I didn't know I could follow. Now you know. Glad you found out. I merged this one already, right? Yes. This one is in. Let's go with this one. Confirm. Update. There should not be any merge requests, any merge conflicts. Yep. Nice. All right. So this is fine. We've done this. 2 pull requests down to 61. Ah, the one is not merged yet, right? Come on, do your thing. Do your thing, pipeline. Do your thing. These tests take 24 minutes? Yes, but we don't require tests to pass for it to merge. And I could obviously also just override it. That would also be possible. I could merge manually. Actually, yeah, that's maybe what I actually should do. I should maybe merge on my system and then push to master, to main. Well,
That's what I should do. Yes. Sweet org admin life. Why is it? It's still not merged. What is it waiting for? I'm curious, how did you become one? You mean an org admin? I don't know, I was around for a long time. I started developing Manim, I think, last summer. So not last summer actually, summer of 2020. Wait. One year, 6 months ago. Seems to be my earliest commit. 246. That was 2,000 merge requests ago. That's crazy. Wait, is there... I thought I did another one first. Nope, that seems to be it. 1 year, 6 months ago. Anyhow, so I started developing and sent some small contributions. Then I did some larger contributions. Then I helped to set up the documentation and rendering examples on the read to docs instance. Eventually I became a community dev. And then, I can't remember, soon after I ascended to moderator, and from there on, well, it helped that I well, sort of feel responsible for the releases. Ascended. Yes, definitely ascended. Wouldn't you say it like that? Maybe the proper term should be I got elected. But we didn't, for moderators, we didn't do it at that point. Hypergrant. All right, so what's happening here? Why is this still not running? What's up with the depend? It's probably doing it. It's probably after the. No, wait, I actually don't understand. Actions. This one. Not this one. The other one. This one. Why is this interface so weird always? Waiting for a runner to pick up the job. Yeah, we're out of runners at the moment. So this means some of the tests have to complete first before we before this is actually merged. So well, it will be 61 for like 20 minutes. Sage. Well, I could still merge it by force, but I don't want to. It's fine. It's fine. So what does this do? Help page for right to movie was not very descriptive, so I made it more descriptive. But right to movie is not specific to OpenGL, is it? It is? I don't think it is. It is not, I think, but the problem is that, yeah, the behavior of the command line interface is inconsistent between the OpenGL and the Cairo renderer. And the Cairo renderer sets the thing correctly mainly because so there's this discrepancy. On the one hand, you have the Cairo renderer, which doesn't have live preview, and so this interactive preview window. And if you have that with the OpenGL renderer, you don't necessarily want to actually write your animations to a file, because I don't know why you wouldn't want that, but still, you might be satisfied with having the interactive output. For example, especially if you append like this interactive embed command at the end of your scene, so that you get the terminal where you can continue writing the scene. Then it might be the case that you don't want to have that stuff written to a video output, which means that in that case you should be able to trigger the actual writing to the video yourself. For Cairo, this is not a problem. This is not a question, because this interactive preview stuff doesn't exist. So yes, I feel like so if you look at where write to movie is actually used, that's the default stuff. That's the OpenGL renderer. But see, here's the Cairo renderer, and it does query write to movie. Yes, you never use it with OpenGL, with Cairo. You only have to use the flag when working with OpenGL. But that doesn't make the help text more true. So from a user perspective, yes, I agree. You only would encounter the flag in a OpenGL context, and not in a Cairo one. But it doesn't. It's not correct that it's not correct that the flag doesn't do anything when working with Cairo. Can we set it to false and see what happens? Let's see. I certainly have some sort of example. Maybe my large graph search should be fine. So example scenes, Manim QM preview, write to movie equals false to make it confused, and then example large graph search. Write to movie doesn't take a value. Okay, so the value is set automatically. So I feel like this here, that it's not a bad improvement, but it should not be specific to OpenGL. Write the video rendered with Manim to a file. You have to write it in the config file? Yeah, I assume. I don't want to do it right now, so... But you get the idea. It's true that you only need to interact with this. It's not so sad. It's fine. It's true that you only need to interact with this when using the OpenGL renderer, but it still does something for the Cairo render. But still does something, namely controls the same thing for the Cairo renderer. My suggestion changes the wording to reflect that. We could, if you'd like to, we could include like we could include a second sentence which says something specific about the OpenGL renderer. Pass this flag when rendering with OpenGL to required to get an output file when rendering with OpenGL. We could do something like that, but now the line is too long. We could break it. That's too long, doesn't get formatted properly. Okay. Then we should. Then probably there's a different place in the configuration in the documentation for, well, this information. I agree. It definitely is weird. What do you think about improving our import situation? For example, Network X gets imported every time Manim does. We can improve it. I don't know enough stuff about Network X to know the preferred way of only importing needed stuff. I mean, it probably makes sense to switch to some sort of lazy input. A lazy import. That's the output of Manim render minus help. I think it's fine with your current suggestion. Okay. Then I will just approve and changed wording to reflect the reality a bit more. Suggested a change of wording. Better. Approve. So I think Network X could be well imported only if the graph module or the graph class is needed or accessed. I don't know. That would be some sort of lazy import scheme that exists in well, many frameworks, I think. Updated minimal LaTeX installation instructions. This PR changes the installation instructions for a minimal LaTeX installation on Windows, so that the method which uses Manim LaTeX is visible first. Do we know that this works? Have you tried it like that? Or do you use Manim LaTeX? Okay. I can remember some time ago, people using Manim LaTeX had problems. I can't remember which sort of problems, but I can remember that the solution was that they should just install MikTeX. Select multiple people from the server? Well, then let's merge it. It's already approved. Doesn't include CTech and FR cursive. Yeah. Oh, okay. Here on Naveen's repo. That's fine. That works nicely. Nice. Perfect. So then we can just merge it. Ah, the other PR also got merged in the meantime. Added documentation for index clips. I think I approved it already. Yes. The thing that annoys me is when I review a PR and then I suggest some changes, and these changes are applied then. I'm not notified of that, so I don't see when the PR gets updated again, which is why I always, well, especially with new contributors, I have to ask them to either request a review again or yeah, anything like that. I'm a bit annoyed about that, because otherwise this could have been merged a while ago already. I thought you get a notification? No, I don't. I don't get a notification if someone else pushes new commits on or applies my suggestions. I don't do that. I don't get any notifications for that. Maybe it's possible to configure that in some way, I don't know. But this is like the #1 source for me why PRs like that don't get merged sooner. I think I have to turn on some light. Give me a moment. But as far as I know, I don't even, not even not even our GitHub hook on the Discord server has these events. And I mean, the channel is... The channel is sort of one way that I is sort of one way of keeping on track what currently happens development wise. Well, auto merge, didn't I just enable it? Let's maybe just check. Let's maybe just check quickly whether everything looks as it should. Yes, I think this is a nice example. All the things are here, the little labels. Oh, that's new. Hide search matches. All right, and also here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. Enable, confirm, update. What more? Is this still not merged? Yes, it is. Okay, so this here has changes requested. Did it already happen? Ah, yes, test would be nice here. Test requested. And otherwise this is a bug fix. It should go here. What about these really old PRs? Which one do you mean? It would be nice if we can get labels saying whether it's pending reviews or authors. Yes. It would be nice. I feel like this is actually something that GitHub should tackle somehow. So if changes are requested and the author requests a review again, then the status on the pull request page shouldn't still be review required, because it's not. Oh wait, maybe it is like that actually. Huh. I thought it was not like that. Really old PRs. I mean, let's look at really old PRs. I even have a pending review request for that. Yes. This old problem. Is it actually still like that? Lovely. I mean, there is a trade-off. There's a trade-off between having the first or the last frame broken in some sense. And I think initially we, and with we I mean Grant, decided to have the first frame correct and the last frame broken. Yeah, I mean, this. I don't think that this PR will ever get merged. But then again, I mean, this is certainly has. Yeah, I mean, who's gonna resolve that? Actually, that doesn't even look so bad. I mean, it looks kinda bad. Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why we didn't. That's the reason why they haven't been closed yet, the discussions, and the fact that there is information there that might be valuable if someone wants to tackle this problem in the future. And if, well, we just close it, then it sort of disappears, because, I mean, would someone really remember? But at the same time, does anyone remember to look at these now? I don't know. This one is one I think that actually should be resolved. This one should be resolved and not just closed, so I'll leave it open. Resizing images and videos in the Jupyter Notebook. I don't think that the approach here. I don't think this was this interface that was ever added to images. I think we should rather set on. I think we should rather wait until Jupyter Notebooks can do that in some native way, rather than us patching it ourselves. I feel like this might be something that a plugin is already capable of. I'll quickly turn on some light. Be right back. At the same time, leaving it per us open might discourage someone from picking it up. Also true. It's not easy what we can do with these. I feel like exactly this, improving the default image class of Jupyter Notebooks is something that should exist as a Jupyter extension already. Jupyter image extension. That's not spelled correctly. Jupyter image viewer. Jupyter notebook. What's this? Napari.
Notebook extension. Visualize numpy arrays using Google's New York Lancer. No, that's actually not really what I want. I'm like almost sure that there already is an extension that users can install into their Jupyter notebooks, and then it changes the interface for how images are displayed. Visualize numpy array, yes. That's what we currently do with matplotlib. Why is this page so bright? I hate it. I feel like something like this should be I don't want a gallery. I want a better image viewer. All of this is too much. I mean, what does Napari actually do? That's exactly what I think it should do, but within a notebook. How can you use it within a notebook? Jupyter Notebook, Napari. You know what? I'll write this here. I'll write this here and then we'll close this. Wait, what's that? I've seen that, I can remember that. We should do something about it. But if we go that way, then actually I think using something like Napari is probably better than coding something ourselves. I've looked at this again today. It's been a while. While I like the general idea of supporting better image viewers within Jupyter notebooks, I am against reinventing the wheel here. I feel we should rather push towards compatibility with something with another library that does image viewing with an image viewing library like e.g. Napari. Instead of implementing it ourselves. I'm happy to continue discussion about it, but I'll close this PR for now. But in the spirit of cleaning up, I'll close this PR for now. Please reopen if you disagree. One down, 1 million left. Add new animations, add and remove. Sometimes in the sequence of playing animations, you want to add or remove an object without splitting it into two play statements. What does that even mean? Add and remove are special in the sense that they add stuff to the scene and remove it, and immediately. So add is actually just an animation which doesn't do anything. Which is fine, because an animation always has an object it is bound to. With the exception of wait, which is nothing. And this should probably not happen in cleanup from scene, but rather in scene.remove. In finish.
What I don't like about this is that it is unintuitive and gives things a runtime, which means I could have an add animation which does nothing except for adding the object. I mean, I can maybe see how that is useful. I can maybe see how that is useful. It happens in cleanup from scene because that's the only method that has the scene attached. Sure, that makes sense. I'm not sure why it wouldn't work though. Functional equivalent to math scene remove. I would have to debug this. I'll at the very least convert this to a draft. This still needs someone who looks into it. I'm not entirely convinced that add and remove animations are actually useful. I'd like to see a use case which cannot. I'd like to see a proper use case for them. I've converted this into a draft. Until I've converted it into a draft. I've marked it as draft. Until then. I'm not entirely convinced that add and remove. I'd like to see a proper use case. All right. Close. No, wait. This was my tab where I... Yes. Okay. Total time updaters. This is actually approved. Object.add updater has new parameter pass relative time, determining if the updater should get passed relative or absolute time values. Updater can now have arbitrary named second parameters instead of requiring DT. That would be nice, yes. Call updater equals true no longer causes an error of non-time based updaters. Rename object update to object apply update as deprecated update. Also not a bad idea. I feel like the ideas from this PR are actually pretty good, probably. Interesting, this was modified. Apply updaters. Typo. This typo still has to exist, apparently. Until V080. That has been a while ago.
Get time-based updaters has been deleted. Pass relative times. How does it work? I want to see code. Get parameters updater keys. And time, it's time-based if it has if it has more than one parameter. I don't like having to check parameters. Yeah, I don't like it either. I think what we should actually do is give objects two different lists of update, or at least two different lists of updaters. On the one hand, the time-based ones, and on the other hand, these global ones. Yeah, I know that that's what we currently do, but I don't like that. It's crazy to me, and actually this is another thing that I looked into when I prepared stuff for the updater video I wanted to do. This was another thing. The fact that there's a hard-coded check whether the second argument of a function is actually called dt, and then and only then the function is considered to be a time-based updater, that's simply crazy to me. I also feel it's not particularly Pythonic at all. If the function has two positional arguments, then it should be a time-based updater, and otherwise it shouldn't. Full stop. Yeah. People should call their time parameter whatever they want. At least they should be able to do that. If they want to call it dt, then it's fine, but forcing people to call it dt is really, I don't know. So we should change that. So I feel like this PR, the ideas from it are good, but probably we will change the way how updaters works. Anyways, in the long term, I'm not sure I want updaters attached to objects. I think that changing that requires more efforts, because if you only attach them to like the scene, you still need a way to. You don't have a clear correspondence between updaters and objects anymore. Which means, well, it's the Wild West technically. Stuff that works right now, in particular the fact that updaters can be combined with certain animations. For example, the rotation updater and an animation that moves an object somewhere, like a square 2 units to the right or something like that. The fact that this currently works relies on the updaters being copied, including relies on the updaters being copied as well. So what actually happens is the updater is applied to the object first, or is added to the object first, then you construct the animation. The animation copies the object, including its updater, and stores it in the target variable. The target is also just an object which has an updater function attached to it, so this is called, which means that both the target of the interpolation is modified as well. And this is the thing that makes the animation, these combinations of animations actually work. It wouldn't work if the updater is attached to the scene, because then the reference of the updater, of the scene updater, would still only refer to your own object. So if we change that, if we change updaters no longer being attached to objects themselves, but instead to only the scene,
We would also have to change the mechanism how these animation interpolations work, because the target object needs to be aware of what its of the changes that the actual object goes through. So it's the thing that you can get for very cheap right now is this sort of copying behavior. If an object has an updater and it is copied because, for example, some sort of animation is played on the object, then the updater is simply copied and everything works as expected. But if you don't do that, and just rely on the scene updater having some reference to your original object, then we would need to check whether, if an object is copied, whether the original has some sort of is referenced in one of the updaters of the scene, and then maybe add a reference to that updater, or make this global scene updater also call the update for the other object. I feel like technically the second solution is somewhat cleaner. So the one that we currently have, where updaters are attached to objects, and if a copy is made, then the updaters are simply copied with the object. It saves us from having to modify references in global updaters, sort of. No question, we can change that, definitely. It can be done. It just requires, rewriting how updaters work in general. There was a ping. Where's the ping? Manim, help. I couldn't really follow. I will have to look into it more. Yeah. Look into an animation that does something like this. If you have some object and you add an updater, lambda x object dt, which updates the object and rotates it. I don't know, pi times 12, no, dt. And then you also have something like self.play object.animate.move to or shift 2 times right. If you have something like that, yeah, what did I expect actually? Don't click on any of these links. If you have something like that, then look into how currently these animations do combine, and you can have a rotating, moving object. And in the case where this updater would be added to, where you would add the updater to the global scene, then it would not work. Because the updates are only performed for your square then, and not for the target of the interpolation in the animation. That's what I was trying to say. I feel like we can close the total time updaters PR, because I feel like in the refactor we will probably look at how updaters work a little bit, and maybe separate, that's something that I would like to do at least, separate cleanly between time-based and non-time-based updaters. And if we do that, then I guess we can incorporate more changes from this PR. So maybe let's not close it, but keep in mind that there are some ideas on how to on these total time updaters, which might be interesting. I don't know. So no operation for this PR. But I guess if we make the play method construct an update, that might work. I don't know. The question then is, how do these updaters combine? I also have to think about it a bit more. Currently, combining several animations works mainly because all the operations that you want to apply throughout, that you want to apply to your object, all these operations are applied to the target of the interpolation. As long as we can still do that, somehow stuff works. If we can't, then we have a problem. Allow playing animations asynchronously using OpenGL renderer. Yes. I feel like this improvement here of the turn animation into update auxiliary function, which is currently in the object update utils file. I feel like this should actually be a method of the animation because it makes sense. DSP also has very good ideas, but I feel like we should make changes to the way normal play works more fundamentally. We might want to. I don't have a strong opinion about that. My main concern currently is the object unification stuff. So I leave these as they are right now. What else do we have here? I can remember looking at this before, and I'm not sure. I'm not even sure whether the problem still exists. It probably does. But I can't test it and I can't replicate it. I'm not on Windows. I mean, maybe I can test it actually. No, it's Windows file encoding stuff. So I'm not sure. Does it only fail under Windows? No, it fails for all pipelines. What actually happens here? Do the logs still exist? No, too old. Let's try to update. I'm curious about this because file names actually shouldn't really matter, to some degree at least.
waiting for tests. Should probably not wait so long. Because this will take a while. A bit at least. Let's look into something else in the meantime. What's with this? Some SVGs have stroke, dash array, stroke, line cap, and stroke, line join attributes. I think this is closing due to inactivity. I mean, there has been no activity on this PR in like 6 months. Closing due to inactivity. Please reopen. Open. Should you continue to work on this? So what's happening here? Add config OpenGL samples for MSA sampling in OpenGL rendering mode. Default value is 0. 3D surfaces are rendered with jagged edges, which is in contrast with the otherwise anti-aliased look of Manim. Did the test that was added fail, or did something else happen? Probably. Logs are gone. Can't merge because there are merge conflicts. I think I'll look at that later. This might still be relevant. OpenGL implement X-fail tests for comparing OpenGL metaclass against Cairo. I think we have our own worst solution for that currently, and most tests are simply duplicated. I think this can be close to inactivity. This still use the old stuff, I guess. I think this used the old syntax as well. Closing this. We are ready. We chose a different strategy for testing OpenGL output. Closing this, just closing this due to inactivity, and because it is probably not relevant anymore. We can come back to this, I mean, if we really want to, but I feel like we don't have to. Ah, yes, this. Closing due to inactivity. Profiling Manim, it's already getting somewhat difficult to optimize it more. I can see that. I can at least... I easily believe that. Fixing grow arrow. I think this is also... Grow arrow can be used for arrow 3D instances. I just don't know if this is the best way. What does it do exactly? Ah, okay, so this is because there's no scale tips method for arrow 3D. Some optimizations require fundamental change to how the point data of VM objects is structured. Yes, definitely. I thought a little bit about it. I think I agree that we should maybe you can use this Bézier curve library to actually store these points as curves and not as points. I'm just the way how the points array is a mixture of points and control points is just, I don't know. It gives me headache. And I don't like it. Store them as functions? No, as actually Bézier, so as this Bézier curve class, or at least as a list of Bézier curve classes or whatever. But I think everything is better than what we currently do. Because yeah. It's simply not great. The question is whether we still can do all of the operations that we do on the points array. There are quite a few ways in which we modify the points array. The annoying thing about the Bézier curve library is that it uses transposed numpy arrays in contrast to what we have. This should still be visible on the PR. I left a comment on the issue on the Bézier curve library where I can help out somehow, but the maintainer didn't reply to me yet. I would really like to switch from Manim's current naive implementation of Bézier curves to something that's a bit more optimized and yeah. Even though just changing the implementation of the Bézier curves, I think this did not bring as much performance boost as I would have hoped, but I think it's simply cleaner to use an external well-written library that can interact with the Bézier curves instead of doing literally everything ourselves. In many places it's more convenient to have transposed points. I don't agree. I don't disagree with that, but the reality is that points are currently handled how they are handled, and changing that would be, well, painful to some degree. I'm not sure in more places, yeah. I'm not sure either. Okay, so this fails because Arrow 3D does not have a scale tips method. But why doesn't it? Where is this? 3 dimensions? Class Arrow 3D. What does it do? The arrow tip is like a
is the cone, right? Because I didn't implement back then. Yeah, this was not. I feel like instead of changing the grow arrow, animation, I feel like it's easier to adapt the class, which doesn't seem that complicated to me to do. Just needs a custom scale method which mimics whatever the arrows do. When I was still new. Sounds funny. So I think I feel like we shouldn't have line 3D at all. Could render cylindrical lines with shaders. Yes, I actually agree with that. I feel it's silly to implement our own lines that are based on cylinders, just because. What I would really like somehow is if we didn't have to care about, well, if we didn't have to care about the difference between OpenGL and the Cairo rendering. But as far as I'm aware, we can't write shaders for the Cairo renderer because that would be insane. I think, at least. I've never looked into that. I don't think that Cairo supports something like shaders. Would you like if we had a computer graphics expert helping us answer questions? Someone more familiar with stuff would be helpful, that's true. That's true. So let's leave a comment here. Let's continue actually. 27th October. That's only a few months ago. Sorry for the very late response. I think instead of modifying the grow arrow animation, it would make more sense to implement a custom scale 3D. Wait, it's not called like that, is it? Arrow, is it called arrow 3D? Yes. Arrow 3D dot scale method that behaves similar to the arrow.scale method, including the optional keyword argument scale tips. Feels like we're just amateurs guessing our way through the random stuff. No, I don't think that. I don't think that. But it would help if we had someone with more experience. It would probably shorten some, well, it will shorten our journey. Okay, left a comment. Great. What's next? Totally off topic, you can add search exclude docs I18. True. I could do that. But usually I don't search the internet serialization files anyways, because I just exclude the PO and POT files. But that's right, I could just configure it globally. I'll do it later. Also, hi. What's happening here? Allow chords to point to accept sequences. Adds padding from object shift method when less than 3 dimensions are set. What? Utils position. Is this a new file? Ooh, what's happening here? Did I review this at some point? No. But Colibril did. Ah, lots of conflicts. Thinking about it, maybe we should use cubic PCs for OpenGL Vim object and then let the renderer handle the conversion. Yeah, we have to. I can't really say anything about that yet without having looked at the code and, well, actually tried to see where that would break down if it wouldn't work. The idea in principle sounds nice, but oh, this actually, now I understand what this does. We have talked about this before. Making Manim able to accept less than 1 dimension. I'm not sure what the best way to do that is. And this is certainly incomplete because there are lots of and vectors now accept the position. So I think this is probably right as a draft. I'm just not sure whether we should close it due to inactivity. We could start in some places. If it's compatible with the syntax, then it might work. I like the idea, but I can't say anything else about this right now. Default opacity to 1 when color is set. There was a discussion about this. And there should be more discussions about this before we change anything. I don't like this change. Yes, that's the issue. You don't want the library to try to be smarter than yourself, right? And sometimes this might not be what you want, but I'm yeah. I think I'll close this PR finally. I'll close this PR. We should change, as mentioned, in my previous comment, we should have a discussion about this and then change it. And if we decide to go through with this, change it consistently. Do we get to below 50? We could maybe reach below 50 if we really tried hard. Okay, so we did that. What's with the two? Wait, I just closed one of those that I wanted to look at after, right? That was not it. This was one of them. Okay, tests failed. Why did the tests fail? Didn't I merge master into this? I did. Did the pipeline not start? It did. Ah, now it does. So what's happening? One error. What's the error? Test file writer. Where's the error? Ah, here. In import module, no module name tests utils commands, of course. So these are all tests. Someone would have to go and fix them, and I don't want to do that, so we'll close it. We tried, we failed. I mean, I could look at it, but capture command. What is this now? Do I see volunteers to fix this? I mean, the test was failing before as well, not just because of this change here. Where's the capture? Do we still have the capture command somewhere? We do. Ah, it's in Manim utils now. Okay. Okay, But just because there was two violins. What is this? Manim utils commands. Yeah. We look at the proper error before we close it. Congratulations, chat. You managed. You managed to save the PR for like 20 minutes more. Actually, like 5 minutes. I will take a short break. I'll leave you with a YouTube video in the meantime. Let's look at some microvisual proofs. I've had some in my recommendations somewhere. What do we have? 2 minutes. That's maybe enough. Oh, ads. I hate ads. We pretend not to see those. We don't show ads on the stream. Ads show themselves. How long is this? Oh, I have to skip it, of course. Oh, come on. This is not confusing at all. Okay.
Wait, is autoplay on? No, we don't. We don't want autoplay. All right, be right back, chat. First, I'll start play the video actually. Did chair cover the counter? I'm back now. Sorry for being muted. I forgot. Nice.
I need to find the best way to learn math.
Thanks. Thanks, YouTube. I really like these videos. I really like those. And to find the best way to learn math? Well, the ad that I just closed might have told you. Just learn it easy. Okay. What's the time? 16:50. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I will refresh. Look at the number of open PRs. 53. We'll bring this down to 50 or below 50, and then I will take a break and we'll go offline because I have to, well, actually have lunch or dinner at this point, maybe. Lunch. There's Lina, right? That's a thing. I don't imagine that. I've heard about it before. So dinner, but with L. It's what I usually have. It's rare that I have dinner. Actually, no. Anyhow, did we manage to fix this? Ah, it's not done yet. But it's running tests. Drunch. That sounds funny.
We can look at other stuff in the meantime. Don't need to wait here. That's usually how I lose all my time working on the library, just waiting for tests. Okay, grow arrow we commented. We looked at that and decided not to do anything. Open GL image object. Yes. Ooh. Wait, what? What's this weird effect? Dunge? I thought it was called Lina. It gives me headache. The dimensions are wrong. So what's the status here actually? We should be using model view protection matrices uniforms within the shaders instead of this perspective. Yeah, perspective scale factor magic. Nope, not done probably. Requires more work. I'll leave it open because this is interesting actually. This is interesting and somewhat fundamental, so this can stay. This can stay. Okay. Add non-in-place operator overlays to value tracker. Oh, you asked this recently. Killer Coda is probably not in chat right now. Sometimes they are. So what was the issue here? If add and the rest are defined interpretation are the same, wouldn't it be more convenient just drop the I add since it falls back to add from the Python docs? If X is an instance of a class with an IAdd method, this is equivalent to this. Otherwise, add and radd are considered. If add is defined and IAdd doesn't need a separate implementation, then yes, I think that would be fine. X equals x dot iadd y. What does this link actually say? Ooh, I'm sorry. Python page. Does it not have a... No, Python does not have a dark mode. Sorry. Let's open it again. Burning eyes. X.add y is called.
Yes, I feel like we don't need the I methods actually. These are the in-place methods are interesting when you look at modifying groups and stuff. I think there was a PR or actually that maybe even implemented already. But for value trackers, I don't feel like it makes much of a difference. The operation should always be just in place. Explicit is better than implicit. That's true, but here it doesn't make a difference. Especially if it's the same implement. I did not look at whether it's the same implementation. That's true. Sub I sub. Okay, so the doc strings are wrong because yeah. Self and the value. Okay. These doc strings need some more work. When was the last update on this branch? Wouldn't feel August. Six months ago. I mean, I would close this due to inactivity at this point. I don't know, what do you think, Daryl? Should we keep it open or just close it? Because, I mean, the doc strings have to be rewritten anyways. And that's the main work here, I think. I would close. Yes, let's close. The tests are nice, but I mean, yeah. Let's close. Closing this due to inactivity. In case you want to, please reopen in case you want to continue working on this. Then also the doc strings definitely need full stop. The doc strings currently don't look right to me. Close. All right. One more. Added rotate label mob feature to brace. Wait, what does this do? What's the difference between the current implementation use next to and object next to self get tip round get direction? Huh. That's weird. Okay, and so this rotates the labors. I don't think I have an opinion about that. What's the state of this PR 5 months ago? There's a conflict. What's the conflict? Wait, is this already handled? Oh no, these are the new parameters introduced at the time. Ah, and the labor scale probably. Got changed into the font size. Yeah, I mean these merge requests need to be resolved. I'm not sure what we should do about this. Sorry. I do like the option that I do like the option to rotate the labors. And the implementation itself didn't look so bad. Yeah, it is a nice feature. I would review 2457. That's an easy one. That looked good. I think Hydrobeam already did that. You already did that. Yes, I mean, this can be merged, certainly. I will... everything here has been resolved, right? Yes. Yes. Wait, but is this not included anymore? It's just a thing, right? Yeah. Dismiss changes have been applied. Dismiss review, yep. Wait, why can I merge this? Why? Why can I currently merge this? It should say that the branch is out of. Wait, what? 2457. Rejected. Git branch delete patch 1. I don't like these default names. Let's try again. Actually, last time 79 minutes ago, which is surprising that I didn't merge anything in between that. Hold on. I got confused because the line here said added 7 commits 8 days ago, but this is not true then. This means this commit here happened like an hour ago. One hour ago. Indeed. Did this have the deprecation label? Yes. And this should be class dot a few minutes after PR gets merged, they merge it main to the PR. Yeah, we should tell people that they don't have to do that. I didn't know that they did that. Okay, 51. Let's get back to the rotate label one because this is actually a nice feature. I like it a lot. We should try to get it. But what does it change? This is a breaking change, isn't it? Because it changes the use next to thingy. It automatically uses next to. Is next to the default behavior? Yeah, it is default behavior. No tests. No tests, and also it no tests, and also there is a few. I could look at how bad it is. 1862. Oh. I changed my pipeproject.toml file because I discovered that I can debug from VS Code. I can debug tests from VS Code quite easily. So let me show you what I found that I could do. There's like these tests here, and let's put a breakpoint here. And if I set up things correctly in VS Code, then I can simply click here and say debug test, and it will throw me in a debug thing. I don't know why this always fails, but it actually doesn't matter. We just continue. And then I'm right there at my breakpoint, which is really, really convenient. I like this a lot. But unfortunately, this is only possible if the default configuration for PyTest doesn't include coverage reports. If I have to generate coverage reports, this doesn't work. So if I stop this, go back to the PyProject toml and revert this line back to what it usually was, then save. Where's my test? If I try to run this test again now, it will just run. And the debug thing will not happen for some reason. So something about the coverage, something about this coverage thing breaks the debug capabilities of VS Code, and I don't like that. Because I think that's really convenient. If a test fails, that I could just go in here, debug, and then see what's going on. Yeah. Oh well. Oh well.
I should probably solve that properly. I'm sure I can like specify some debug configuration for PyTest. Okay, so what's happening now? Now I merged git fetch origin main, git merge origin main into this. Let's see how bad the conflicts are. Okay, so the font size changes have to be applied. This is nothing here, that would be fine. This is a change that makes sense. So this has to be combined. I can simply resolve these actually. Self to subobject 0 equals self.brace. That's weird. That's actually weird. This code is unreachable, but only right now, because we are in conflict resolution mode. I'll try to resolve it. So we take the font size parameter, put it here, delete the markers. Setting custom stuff should happen after the super init. I would actually like if that happens for that one as well. Here we choose the first line and the second here. I'm not sure why this is required, and this worries me a little. This should be the same thing already. Oh, we got rid of that eventually, it seems. So this is actually fine. Remove this, put this here. Now what does this do? Change label. We remove this as well. I see. So we actually do the same thing again, but with the new keyword argument added. Rotate equals label. Rotate. And then we continue with the second method. Change brace label. Did the signature change? Yes, the signature changed. That's fine. Actually, this is bad. Having the... Does this even work? Having the keyword argument first and then the positional arguments? That's weird. I should not do all of this in the merge commit, but well, here we are already. Welcome to Bad Practices Live. So we've done, this is done. This is done. We've fixed that return self is done. So now we have to
fix these two. Shift brace object, label rotate is false, and this just gets passed to change label. I actually don't see why there are conflicts at all. Weird. It should have been able to resolve this, I think. Wait, further keyword arguments are not passed anymore. That's weird. Why not? Now this should be pretty much the same, but this again, keyword arguments don't come before here. Okay. And these were all conflicts. Push. Okay. This is a nice feature. Thanks for your contribution. I have resolved the existing merge conflicts. I'm pretty sure I didn't do it properly though. I have tried to resolve the existing merge conflicts. Please check. But before we can merge this, tests should be added to check that the functionality of this PR does not break with future updates. What's our test thingy? We have documentation for that, right? Adding tests. Adding a new test. Graphical unit test. Wait, where was this? Wait, what? This passes now? What? Could you please have a look at... Oh no, did it the wrong way. Our documentation for adding tests. Graphical unit tests. And add one of your examples without text. That's important. Due to font issues. As a test for this. So if I had to guess, I think I broke this somehow because I'm not sure I properly propagated the text font, the label font size. I probably didn't, but it should be resolvable, especially if someone wants to look into this. So if maybe Let Me Explain has the interest to come back to this, because I really liked the pictures. Those were pretty nice. Okay, 51. I think I have to leave now, actually. We managed to get it down to 51 and maybe even 50 if this one apparently passes now. Weird. Is the test maybe not run? Can you imagine that happens? Test scene rendering, test file write. No, this should actually be okay. Test mark slow. I think this is okay. Can we check whether this test ran? I think we could. Yeah, so maybe this is not work in progress after all, and we can actually merge this. Then in this case, we would have 50 open PRs, which is, well, a success for whatever this stream was. Oh, sorry. Sorry for blinding you guys again. I'll keep this open and have an eye on it, but as I've said, I do have to leave now. So yeah. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. I think this was successful. We managed to close a few of the old PRs and, well, progress a little bit on cleaning up everything. I will probably be back later, but not with more Manim. I do want to play more Dead Cells, actually, and I have that in my title, I think, so that was fun. I started that like 2 days ago, and it's pretty fun. Maybe also more Baba SU could also happen, not sure. More gaming, definitely, later. It's likely, but I'm hungry now, so I have to. Well. Anyhow, thanks for hanging out. And yeah, see you guys soon again. Follow the stream if you don't do it already, so that you get notified when I go live. But you don't have to, obviously. I appreciate everyone watching. It was fun. It's always nice to do these things like with some sort of audience and chatting with people. Makes it less dull in some sense. All right, see you guys. See you soon again.